Does this car look familiar? How about this one? Or this one? All of us have either been in a cluttered car, or either will get into one, or actually have one out here in the parking lot. But according to many law groups in America and England, a cluttered car can actually pose a danger to our lives. A cluttered car is a danger not only for our safety, but your health. Though it may seem simple, keeping your car clean, it actually has a profound effect on your life. Let's look at the problem with cluttered cars. First, we're going to look at security, we're going to look at accidents, and we're going to look at the psychological aspect of it. So let's look at security. A parked car with clutter in it or items in there are a lot more likely to get broken into, the more tempting for a burglar. It brings attention to a criminal. Whereas an uncluttered car, something that's nice and clean, would probably be bypassed over normally, given the choices. There's also the insurance cost. When your car gets broken into, you have to incur the cost of insurance, and that's passed on to me, not just to you. Let's see, we have also, when your car is broken into, you have personal property loss, such as iPads, laptops, purses, personal items that, in many of your cases, you're students and your homework can't be replaced. Sure, the item can go back and you can purchase those items, but having a cluttered car creates what the Dallas Morning Star listed as a slippery slope, meaning they referenced the Dallas Galleria, where criminals were going in and breaking into cars, and they put out to everyone, lock your stuff up, put it in your trunk so someone can't see it. Well, they found that such a gold mine to go in there and hit. They were now hitting cars that didn't have anything in them, figuring, hey, they must be putting it in the trunk because they're not taking it into the stores with them. Now let's look at accidents. 20% of U.S. drivers and 18% of London drivers that were involved in an accident said that clutter either distracted them or caused the accident. That's a large percentage. You're looking at 20%. It could have been a piece of paper floating around. It could have been something outside the car. And I want to just give you an example of a few individuals that are out there. Here in the U.S., there was a guy named Gordon Malcolm. Piece of paper, he happened to roll his window down a little bit, piece of paper flew around, distracted him in front of his face, he hit a wall. There was an Alex Morgan in the UK. He decided he'd like to store his used cups up on his dash. When they happened to fall, got his attention, he swerved into oncoming traffic. Luckily he didn't get in an accident, but it was a near miss. And then of course there was Maureen Jones, grandmother, left grandkids' toys in the car. They happened to get under the pedal, but we can't talk to her because she's not around anymore. 1 in 20 cars are significantly obscured vision, and we've all seen these cars. They have the tom-tom up front. They have the little air freshener hanging in there. We have, I'm from Ecuador sign, or there's also people with stuff in the back, and you see these, the grandmothers with the 80 little toys in the back, hanging around. With all the stuff that we have in our cars, one thing we may not think about is projectile damage. And projectile damage is, if your car is traveling at 60 miles an hour, you're locked into this car, and that's great. Your body's going to stop when the car stops. Unfortunately, everything in the car is not going to stop. It's now moving at 60 miles an hour. So think about that when you carry stuff in your car. And trash in the car, if you presents another damage. Fire. Should your car catch on fire, I don't know if anybody's a smoker or if you do get into an accident and your car does catch on fire, you just give it fuel to spread through there. And if you're locked in, just say la vie for you.
Yep.
An accident can turn your world upside down really, really easy. And now I want to look at the psychological aspect of it. First off, there's, whether you know it or not, it's stress. You are stressed out when your car is messy. Let's say I needed to ride somewhere, and your car has crap in it. You're probably thinking, I don't really want to take him into my car. So you start stressing there. Or let's say you get pulled over, and an officer pulls you over. Now he wants to look into your glove box, and you can't find your registration, you can't find your insurance. The more you're looking, the more stressful you become. So just, you can alleviate that whole stress aspect out of your life. There's also broken window syndrome. And broken window syndrome is a sociology study that said those of us that get into a car, and let's say our window is broken, if we're not willing to fix that, we're not willing to clean up our car, we're not willing to care about others. So it's kind of a downward spiral. So if your car has damage to it or it starts getting messy, the more you put an effort in to keep it clean, the better you are in other aspects of your life. Smelly car. All of us, I don't know if all of us, but some of us have been to someone else's car where you're like, you really might want to get one of those that hang in the front that distract you because your car doesn't smell that great. I have a friend that works out a lot, and I don't know what's in that gym bag, but he leaves it in the car, and it's probably not in. You might want to give me some ideas to help him out. Talk to you later. Only 11% of cars are cleaned out or cleaned on a weekly basis. Only 11. Can you imagine how many cars are in the U.S.? And just 11 of those actually get cleaned on a weekly basis. Mine is one because I buy that monthly package and then they send it through, so I'm lucky there. Solution is pretty simple. You just have to create a lifestyle change. It starts with cleaning out your car, taking things that don't need to be in the front, putting them in the back or in the trunk. In a word, just organize. If you don't do it for yourself, do it for your family. Do it for the people you care about. Family is the one value we can never replace. All the work, would have, could have, should have, they don't matter after something's happened or we've lost a life. We can always get a new car. We can get a new iPad. We can get a new whatever we put in there. But you can't replace a life. In conclusion, many people have cluttered cars and it's just a source of embarrassment or it happens to be an inconvenience. The getting around to getting your car cleaned is you're just so busy, and it's not that big of a deal. Today we've looked at cluttered cars as not only an eyesore but a danger to your security, your safety, and your psyche. By understanding the potential and the empirical problems of a cluttered car, and then looking at some of the accessible solutions that we have out there, hopefully every one of you have seen a way and the need and the impetus to fix your very real, immediate concern.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Okay,